Okay, yesterday I posted a video about the school resource sheriff's deputy slamming the 16-year-old girl. Well, last night after the video was uploaded, the sheriff decided to fire that individual. Now, the training division, and I think every police department in the world has a training division, is a special division that teaches police and other personnel, including I have to go to the training division for my job. Yes. And they teach you certain procedures. Example, there are 36 police departments that share our police academy. And it is a universal teaching. After the recruits graduate from that police academy, they go to the home department that hired them. Yonkers, White Plains, Scarsdale, and that police department gives them additional training in special things that are related to that city. There might be a special curfew in effect in a small town or village that's not in effect in the big cities. There might be certain protocol for, I don't know, cops handling the elderly and disabled in one city as opposed to the other. I mean, or there might be a certain equipment they might use, So they have special training in addition to that. That's the training division. Also, the training division recertifies a police officer. In my society, police officers have to qualify on their duty gun and off-duty gun twice a year, usually every 6 months, which means they have to come in and fire their duty gun and their off-duty gun with their proper ammunition and qualify for a certain score. And they dictate everything. They tell us all the procedures, even what my world, the procedures I have to follow. Okay, the training division tells me that. Okay, like they say, if an adult man runs in front of a truck on a green light, don't rescue him. Don't die for him. That comes from the training unit. Okay, if a little kid is walking across the street, stand very close to them and hold their hand. That comes from the training division. Okay, if this kid is this age and he's out alone, there's no parent around, call us to pick him up. That comes from training. And all your protocol has to come from training. Now, there are certain things they will excuse. For instance, if I were to have, last May, I had the sisters. I had the older sister, younger sister, middle sister alongside me. I had the sign in my hand, which is made out of tin. A guy ran a red light, and I yelled, "Get back," and spun around. And the middle sister, who was on the end, stepped out. I was actually going to hit her with the sign, possibly in the face, to prevent her from walking in front of that car, and then her older sister got her head together and pulled her back in for me because I couldn't reach her. Now, if I had hit her in the face, God forbid, I would have had to take her to the hospital, which is up the block, call her mother, fill out a report, and just say, listen, it was either hit her in the face with the sign or let her get run over by a car. And the training division would say, well, obviously, we don't condone hitting kids in the face with a sign, but if it's the only way to prevent the kid from being killed, it's excused. The same thing goes for the previous May, when I had the woman and her son walking in front of the road, and I flung the stop sign in front of the guy's car to prevent him from coming through. I literally took the stop sign, held it in front of his windshield, and he had an ultimatum to face. He's either A, gonna stop the car, or B, the sign is gonna go through the windshield and put glass in his face, because him hitting my pedestrian is off the table. The department would have said, well, we don't condone hitting windshields with things, but if the guy is getting ready to paralyze two people, including a child, you gotta do what you gotta do. So the training division will say, okay, no, this is not according to our protocol, but given the circumstance, we'll let it go. We'll let it slide. Okay? You're under intense pressure. You had to make a life or death decision in 1 second, literally, we'll let it go. No punishment. Now, the training division in this department, in particular, analyzed the deputy grabbing, rolling, flipping, okay? And they analyzed that video. And they probably analyzed it 50 or 60 times. And there were a couple different videos from a couple different angles, and they probably analyzed them. And they may even pull some of the kids aside and say, listen, you're going to talk to us, you're going to tell us what happened. And they may have talked to the principal and the teacher and said what happened. Okay? And the training division prepared to give the sheriff a written report that said this officer violated our protocol because after the desk was flipped, he grabbed the girl and dragged her several feet and then put her in the front of the class and started rolling with her down on the ground, hands behind the back. Now my issue is maybe in the spur of the moment he did that because he didn't want to be, he probably would have had a hard time between the wall and the desks and chairs. He probably did to give himself more room. And we've probably seen that a million times. The cop says, I can't cuff you here. I gotta drag him to the... We probably saw that a million times. Okay? And I bet every single cop that's seeing that video is like, wait a minute. Last week I had to grab this guy, okay? But, and they said in their report, this move, he drags her, is not called for according to our protocol. It is absolutely wrong. And the sheriff personally said, okay, he's fired. Now, if he's fired, he most likely will not get pensions, benefits, anything like that at all. He'll probably just be fired. My friend Case Bolt from the McKinney Pool, he quit before he got fired, probably to avoid losing any benefits. Pension you saved up. Because if you're fired under those circumstances, a majority of the time they just say, okay, no pension, leave. Leave. Okay? And you've probably seen a couple of movies like LA Confidential is one of them, where there's a big fight in the jails, the police holding cells. The cops come to the station house on Christmas Eve, get drunk against protocol, and they go down and they beat the shit out of a bunch of Mexicans who assaulted 2 cops. The assault was hyped up, they thought the cops were dying. The cops had minor injuries, but the rumor mill said the cops were dying. So all the cops at the station house got drunk, went downstairs and beat the shit out of the Mexicans. And when Internal Affairs came in and started convening grand juries and shit, the cops that had been in the job for 25, 30 years agreed to resign and leave and take the blame. And the cops that did not have their pension secure, they were protected by the older cops. So a lot of times you'll see that in the police department where the older cop, well there's only one cop in this case, but you'll see 5 cops getting involved in the shit. And a cop's been on the job 30 years, he's gonna retire. Like, okay, I'll retire and I'll fill out a report saying it's all my fault. You guys get off, breathe easy, we're cool. Okay, this didn't happen here because only one cop's involved. So he probably lost his pension. He probably lost a lot of benefits, and I guarantee you no department's gonna hire him. Now, when I was in high school, one of our security guards was fired for grabbing a girl by the hair. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know. I don't know what girl it was. I don't know what she did. This is a regular security guard from the Board of Education. She might have been running down the hall and he might have grabbed her. She might have been in a fist fight and he might have grabbed her hair. And I've seen teachers and deans in schools and shit when I was a kid. You gotta break up a fight. I mean, I've seen security guards, school security guards, 2 kids are beating the fuck out of each other and they'll grab them and just yank real hard. I've seen them slammed against walls because the kids are fighting each other and you grab and you bump into a wall. Okay? There's been incidents like my friend, the professor, the psychology professor, the short girl I talked about yesterday. She's had incidents where you go to tackle somebody and even though you're following protocol, someone gets hurt. Okay? You could be a police officer and you could be following protocol 100%, but someone might get hurt. You might roll the wrong way. Okay? You might have a cop that tases a guy, but because the guy had a heart condition, the guy died when a normal guy would not die. So that's it. He broke protocol and they fired him. Now I don't think the FBI needs to be involved. I don't think it's a federal case. It should be a local case. There was a police officer in my hometown. I met him in person. I was at the range one day. And this officer said to me, tell Mom I said hi. And I came home and I said, hey, Ma, guess what I saw? I saw this guy. Oh, yeah. And my mom's like, you know who that is? I'm like, who? Remember a couple of years ago, the cop with the body slammed the woman? What? I remember that. That was him. That was him. There was a police officer in a bar. Some people were being really, really unruly. They really getting out of line. And the cops said basically, you know what, you're all under arrest. Handcuffs, let's go. And this woman was resisting, and he body slammed her. He was suspended without pay. The county court put him on trial with a jury for assault. And he was found not guilty and released and restored to duty. Because it was determined in the investigation that the woman was ridiculously out of control and he needed to bring her under control. And that's the plain and simple truth. When you are out of control, they must bring you under control. It's not always being nice. It's not always being polite. And I have kids. I have a girl. She's a 7th grader. She's always questioning my ability to have her move one foot in front of the other. She's like, I know how to cross the street. And I'm like, okay, you can cross the street, but the cars will not stop for you and the cars will kill you. And even though I saved 2 of her friends from being killed, she can't get the message. So I gotta be rude sometimes. And I gotta say, listen, you gotta speak up, you gotta yell at somebody, you gotta, and they're looking on the block, is it clear yet? You gotta put your arm in front of something. You ain't going yet. I didn't check to see if that car's gonna stop. You ain't going yet. You're waiting for me. Okay, I've had a kid I saved him from being killed 2 years ago. A month later, his brother and all their friends are in the road, and they run across the road. I tapped the kid on the shoulder. I didn't really, I just pulled him back and said, listen. He's like, I want to go with them. And I said, I'm not responsible for your brother and his friends because they're big. I am responsible for you, and you're going to wait. I can't always be a nice guy. I would jump in front of a truck for them if I had to, and I have sometimes. I've jumped in front of trucks to protect these kids. And I'll do it again probably tomorrow if I have to. I had to step in the road yesterday. I had a high school guy, a 6th grade girl behind me. I had an adult woman in front of me. I'm walking in the road and the guy is in a Jeep. And the light's red and he jams his gas. And I stand in front of him, yell at him. He stops the truck, puts it in reverse and backs up. And I call him a psycho. So I'm not always polite to the kids, and I'm never polite to the cars. And that's a horrible, horrible thing. But you have to choose. Am I going to raise my voice or am I going to let you die? And sometimes the cop has to choose. Am I going to roughhouse with you or am I going to let you punch me in the face? Am I going to roughhouse with you or am I going to let you kick an innocent person? Okay? So, spur of the moment, we do things. And I guarantee when that cop stopped, looked back and said, ah shit, why did I do that? I should have did this instead of that. Water under the bridge, hindsight is 20/20. Ain't gonna do no good. Like I said, he should have called for a security guard or an administrator to assist him in that takedown. Okay? The school's authorities are allowed to control the kids physically if necessary. And he could have said to them, this is your school, I'm here to help you. You're going to help me bring your student under control. I'm going to grab her feet, you're going to grab her hands. Okay? Or I grab the feet, you grab the hands, you grab the desk. We'll pick her up, we'll carry her this way, we'll lay her down gently, and okay? But, that's the problem. Now, personally, I've seen cases where the cop is a lot worse and gets a fine. The commissioner or sheriff will actually fine him. Say, okay, you're fined 2 weeks' pay. So you're going to come to work, but you're not going to get paid for it. Or you're suspended for a month. Or you're on desk duty, which means you're going to sit at your desk, okay? You're going to be on half pay. You're not allowed to collect overtime. And you're not allowed to touch a suspect. You have to do paperwork and answer the phone. Okay? Or they reduce them in rank. They say, okay, you're a lieutenant, now you're a sergeant. You're a sergeant, now you're a patrolman. Okay? Okay? They've done things like that. So I was actually shocked when they went for the firing right away. Usually would have been, okay, he's suspended 2 weeks without pay. But no, they went right for the firing. And I personally think, this is my opinion, maybe they fired him to avoid a lawsuit. Maybe they say, you know what, this is a very high profile case. The media's making it into a black and white. It's been, let's face it, if I showed you a video of a rich white girl with her feet on the desk, smoking a blunt, calling the teacher's mother a whore, and a 200-pound black cop came in and punched her in the face, no one will give a shit. The media will always make it a racist thing, even if it's not. But when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. The media says it's racist, therefore it is. Okay? And yeah. So maybe they fired him to avoid a lawsuit. I don't know. But they did determine that his actions were unwarranted. But also, don't forget, this officer was also sued once before. And he was exonerated in the lawsuit because he did something wrong in line of duty, allegedly. He's also being sued because he had a student expelled from school, claiming the student was a gang member, and the student says, I'm not a gang member, I'm suing you in court. So that also might be a problem, because when you go for disciplinary action, they open up your record and they say, okay, last year you did this, 3 years ago you did that, you're fired, get out of here. Okay? Even the schools do it. Trayvon Martin was suspended from school for 10 days for, quote, being in a place where he did not belong on school grounds. He might have went to the principal's office without permission. He might have went to the girls' locker room, I don't know. But Trayvon Martin was suspended from school for 10 days for being someplace he didn't belong. That means he's a problem kid, and because what happens is the principal might say, okay, you did this, you get a warning. You did the same exact thing, you get 5-day suspension. Because you're a good kid, you made one mistake, this is a warning. You are always in my office, therefore you're suspended for 5 days. In the real world, that works too. All the things you do today, tomorrow, will eventually add up. And it's entirely possible that the sheriff say, you know what? If he had never done anything wrong before, I would say desk duty for a month, half pay. But because he did this and that, we're going to fire him. That might have also been a case. But A, the girl is wrong because she needs to learn how to listen. B, the school should be able to control people. First of all, don't forget, if I'm the principal of a school and I got to call a cop in, I'm going to stand there so that I know the cop is not abusing his authority. I'm going to stand there so I know the student is not abusing. Because I would be like, okay, I'm his principal, I call the cop. I'm going to go and I'm going to say, officer, this child did this. I want her to be brought to my office now. And then I would have been standing on the other side and I would have been said, you're going to listen to the officer. Okay, officer, let's take her together. Or maybe I would have pulled the cop aside in the room, in the hallway, but listen, okay, talk about a strategic plan, okay? Okay, you don't want to confront people alone because A, the fight, like I said yesterday, the fight may get out of control where you need to use more force than necessary. B, you may get sued later, you never know. Okay? And there was a video, I'll see if I can find it again, I saw it last night, of a kid, and yes, the kid is black. he body slams a school security guard. Okay, I will show you video footage of these 16-year-old children body slamming teachers, punching teachers in the face. I've seen teachers have weapons pulled on them in schools. Okay, this is not the 1950s middle America where everyone behaves. Okay, this is out of control today. So, that's the issue. Okay, that is the issue. Okay, everyone's a loser. Okay, the cop's a loser because he's out of a job. The girl's a loser because in another couple of years she's gonna be in prison. Okay, that girl will be in prison within the next couple of years. You mark my words. She'll probably drop out of school. She'll have a couple of kids out of wedlock. Won't be able to get a job. You're gonna go to jail, but she'll be in trouble in a couple of years. You mark my words. So yeah, and just remember what I said. Just have a battle plan in effect. Go in twos and threes to protect yourself and to protect the so-called suspect in this case. But yeah, this is a horrible case because everyone lost. No one came out victorious now. But I'll tell you one thing. There's no way in hell. I have 2 nieces who are grown women today, and I have 3 nephews who are not far behind them. If my nieces or nephews ever acted like that, either myself, my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, or my sister-in-law would have been in jail. And I've told my nephews, if you see this fucking case here or there, I've told my nephews, I said, God help you if I catch you doing that. I told my nieces, God help you if I catch you doing this shit. I tell them flat out, kids need parents, okay? If that girl's mother disciplined her like she was supposed to growing up, this would have been avoided. That's another symptom in this case. Parents don't discipline their fucking kids, okay? The parents pop the fucking kid out, and then that's it. Put him in front of television, let him watch television, let him join a gang. The parents are also to blame, okay? I guarantee you that girl's mother doesn't discipline her properly. I guarantee you that. When I was in 2nd grade, we had a kid who was acting up in class all the time. Teacher called his mother. His mother came to school. I was put on the spot here because this is 2nd grade. Teacher pointed to me and said, he is reading on a 3rd grade reading level. He, your son, is reading on a 1st grade reading level. So he's a grade below and I'm a grade ahead. And as far as reading comprehension is concerned. And it's your kid did this, your kid did this, your kid did this, your kid did this, your kid did this. And she got the kid in the desk. She pulls out her belt, big one of those fucking big, like leather belt. It's like this wide. Jamaican woman. It's like, do you want this? No. She threw him over the desk, and she beat his fucking ass purple in the classroom in front of all of us. And then she said, now apologize to the teacher. He's like, I'm sorry. The teacher was a man. I'm sorry, Mr. He's like, you, stop, Alexa. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Running out of time. Alexa, stop. I'm running out of time. That kid didn't say shit the entire rest of the year. Okay? Thank you.